Fascism. You've probably heard this term thrown around in discussions about politics, history, or even current events. But what does it actually mean? And why is it so important to understand? Let's break it down. Fascism is a far-right political ideology that originated in the early 20th century. It's known for its authoritarian, dictatorial rule and extreme nationalism. But it's more than just a set of political beliefs. It's a system that demands total loyalty from its people, a centralization of power, and often a complete suppression of individual rights. Fascism first gained ground in Italy under Benito Mussolini in the 1920s, and it later spread to Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler. Both of these regimes were defined by their aggressive nationalism, militarism, and, in the case of Nazi Germany, a horrifying racial ideology that led to the Holocaust. So, what are some of the core ideas behind fascism? Let's break it down into a few key points. Authoritarianism. Fascist governments believe in a single, all-powerful leader or ruling party that controls nearly all aspects of life. There's little to no space for opposition, and dissent is usually punished harshly. Nationalism. Fascists promote an intense sense of pride in their country, often tied to ideas of ethnic or racial purity. The state is seen as more important than individual rights, and the country's greatness is prioritized over personal freedoms. Militarism. Fascist regimes glorify war and use military power to achieve their goals. They often expand their territories through force, and military strength is viewed as a symbol of national success. Anti-democracy and anti-communism. Fascists oppose liberal democracy and communism. They reject the idea of equality and instead focus on hierarchy, often asserting that society should be divided into different classes or races, scapegoating. Fascist movements often create a common enemy or scapegoat to unite people. This could be ethnic or religious minorities, political enemies, or foreign nations. In practice, fascism leads to the erosion of civil liberties, a centralized government that controls nearly every aspect of daily life, and the persecution of anyone seen as a threat. History shows us how disastrous these regimes can be. Mussolini's Italy, Hitler's Nazi Germany, and Franco's Spain were all defined by violent oppression, censorship, and war. Under fascism, people's rights and freedoms are often sacrificed in the name of the state. This can mean everything from curtailing free speech and press, to imprisoning or executing political opponents, to outright genocide, like the atrocities committed during the Holocaust. So, is fascism something we only need to worry about in history books? Not exactly. While the extreme forms of fascism seen in the 20th century have largely been defeated, we're still seeing elements of it in some parts of the world today. Modern-day movements sometimes echo fascist rhetoric, ultranationalism, the demonization of outsiders or minorities, and the erosion of democratic institutions. These are all warning signs that we should be aware of. Fascism doesn't always rise suddenly. It can take years to develop, often through a slow build-up of hatred, fear, and division. So, staying informed and being critical of these signs is crucial if we want to prevent history from repeating itself. So, there you have it. Fascism is an authoritarian, ultranationalist ideology that relies on a single strong leader, the suppression of dissent, and often leads to violence and war. Understanding this ideology is key to making sure we don't fall into the same traps that have caused so much harm in the past. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a refresher on what fascism really is. And, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.